The second trailer for Ryan Coogler's new movie, Sinners, has arrived, and ooh man, this trailer was good. However, aside from the fact that I thought it was a good trailer, I also thought that it did something wrong. It's an aspect of trailer marketing that I think really does need to get fixed for the future, because for a lot of people out there, it's something that might prevent them from wanting to even see the film in the first place in theaters. In this video, I'm going to analyze the trailer and discuss why it was good, but also the thing that it did wrong that hopefully will not turn that many people off from it. To everyone watching this video right now, where do you stand on the film? Are you going to be there day one for it when it releases in April? Let me know in the comments. So let's break down that trailer. Firstly, as a bit of a joke, I do have to make a point about a pet peeve that I have with a certain aspect that some trailers do for action films these days, where they add in this annoying gun cocking sound effect.
We back now.
You see what I mean? Like, come on, man, you didn't need to add that in there like that as much as you did, but hey, I digress. It's just a little nitpick that I have with trailers that I have no idea if anybody out there is going to feel the same way as I do. But with that aside, I have to say that this trailer is just fucking awesome. As somebody who studied marketing and has a big passion for trailer marketing in particular, I think that for a film like this is how you have to do a trailer. We live in a day and age now where a first trailer or even a second trailer are vastly important for how they are going to get people to go out and see your film. People are looking for something to experience in a movie theater that will give them the best thing possible. And I think when you give them a trailer like this, it gives them hope that the tone and atmosphere that the trailer is setting forward for them is what they are going to get in the theater. And given the fact that this is a very original film that has no IP establishment to it or a brand relationship on its name, you are also looking for an even bigger reason to hope that people will want to come and support it. As it is, you do have some good names attached to it, like Michael B. Jordan, like Hailee Steinfeld, a few other actors on the cast list, but then also a director like Ryan Coogler, who right now is proving himself to be one of the big names of the directors list out there that so many people want to support. I think a lot of people out there would agree that we live in a time right now where the name of a director sways a lot more than the name of an actor who will get people to go and support a film. But even with all that in mind, the trailer itself has to do its own job as well in convincing people that this is going to be a great time, and for me, I think I got that with this trailer. The trailer is so atmospheric, and it sets a tone quite well for the kind of film that you are going to get. A tone and atmosphere that is very gritty, dirty, energetic, suspenseful, potentially terrifying, mixed with some awesome exploration of blues music, and it carries a lot of weight because the actors and filmmakers behind the camera are able to sell it well enough. I think the two films that I best describe this film to feel like, at least at first glance, is that it's a mix between From Dusk Till Dawn and 30 Days of Night. You have all these people held up in one location without any idea in the world what is in store for them. And then again, atmospherically and based on the fact that the vampires give off the vibe, that is why I use the reference of 30 Days of Night. I watched that movie for the first time last year, and there's something about that film that I feel like is translating over to here in Sinners. Not to say that there's any story attachments, not at all. I just mean atmospherically it does. But even with all that love I have for the trailer in those regards and where it did well, I do think that it made a mistake in another area. Something that nowadays is a thing that people don't take lightly with trailers, which is the idea that you showed a little too much. This is an almost 3-minute long trailer, and while it being almost 3 minutes doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what the quality of the film will be like, from a marketing perspective, it doesn't quite give confidence to the audience watching that they are going to have the best time watching it in theaters. Just the fact alone that it showed that Hailee Steinfeld's character is going to turn into a vampire, but also seemingly one of the twin brothers that Michael B. Jordan plays is also going to turn, is something that I think a lot of people would have wanted to have seen the first time they saw the film in theaters as opposed to in the trailer. When viewers feel like they've already seen most of what's going on, I think it spoils a lot of what it means to have an experience. I am certainly not old enough to know what the trailers were like back before the 2000s, or even after the 2000s for the early years, for example, when they showed their respective movies, but I do imagine that back then, most trailers didn't really tend to show a whole lot of the film. I'd imagine that they showed a couple of action sequences, and then gave somewhat of an idea to the story, but that would be it. At the same time, big surprise reveals are something that I just feel like you are doing your film a disservice if you spoil them in the case of the example that I just gave, where we see that one of the twin brothers turns and then Hailee Steinfeld's character also turns. I think when we talk about the idea of what it means to show too much, It's all about balance, teasing enough to intrigue without giving away the entire story or the best parts of the action sequences, for example. The trailer does hint to the idea that there are going to be some pretty entertaining set pieces, and thankfully, we didn't get too much on there, but overall, I think if it were me making the decisions around this movie's marketing campaign, I wouldn't release another trailer. Let this be the last one, and only sprinkle in a couple of TV promos as well as some traditional-based marketing. I had already made a video covering that very first trailer that we got months ago, and I think what that trailer did so expertly was not give anything away and only relied much on the atmosphere to sell it. The first was much better with that regard, but from an entertainment perspective, I'd say that the second trailer was just as good. Even with a lot of that breakdown in mind for the trailer itself, I'm still super excited for this movie because of the fact that it's definitely an original take on the idea of the vampire subgenre. Vampires as a concept is not original. There have already been hundreds and even thousands of films made around that at this point, but I think what's really going to matter here is how well executed this particular film is. At the same time, I hope that all the people who routinely complain about not getting anything original can shut up for once and actually go and support this movie. I absolutely cannot stand when I see someone make a comment like that online, on social media in particular, because it just shows me that they don't actually watch movies or look for the stuff that they complain about. We get original stuff every single year, and Sinners is just case number 223 of what we should expect to see in 2025 when it comes to original stuff, and I sincerely hope that people will go and support it if it's good. If anything, the reason you go and support a film like this is because of a filmmaker like Ryan Coogler. A lot of people know his movies for being very emotional with how they resonate with deep stories by exploring identity, community, and in a way that feels grounded. I'm not sure if we are going to get anything like that in this movie, especially if it might have a subtle hint of social commentary, but I have a feeling that a lot of people will come to love him even more because he's making a film like this that is so vastly different than all the other movies that he's made already. He's a filmmaker that can stretch himself out just enough to where he can do anything that he sets his mind to. Some other awesome details that we got about the movie itself that came out with this trailer are that vampires are apparently not going to be the only supernatural element within the film. So perhaps we could potentially see some werewolves or another kind of monster show up, and I certainly don't know what the hell is going on with this spiral of fire in this one scene. So clearly there is a lot more going on in this film than what we are led to believe. According to Ryan Coogler himself in an interview that he did about the movie, Christopher Nolan gave him advice about shooting it all on film. Essentially, what that means is that when you shoot it on film as opposed to digital, it's going to look a lot better in the picture quality with regards to stuff like the texture, color, resolution, and most importantly, it's going to look like it has a lot less of a filter to it that digital might give if you were to shoot it on that format. Finally, he noted that Ludwig Göransson has earned an executive producer credit with regards to the musical elements in the film. For those that don't know that name, he did the music for the Black Panther movies, the theme for The Mandalorian, and most recently with his work on Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, of which he won an Oscar for. All these details get me really excited for the film overall, but in the end, I think this new trailer was able to sell just enough of it to me to where even though it made a mistake by showing just a little too much, the overall aesthetic of the film is something that I'm really looking forward to seeing, and I can't wait for it in April. But there you have it. That's my commentary on the new trailer for Ryan Coogler's Sinners. What do you all think of the trailer and my commentary on it? Leave your comments down below and let's have a nice and respectful conversation about it. I can't ask enough that you be respectful, as I do read all my comments to the best of my ability. Thank you for stopping by my channel. If you want to see more moving forward from me with regards to film and television and you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you are new here and turn on that notification bell. I'm trying to build a community on here and your support would be appreciated. That's a wrap, folks. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all soon for the next video.